guys, welcome back to an all-new episode of Conflicts. Today we'll be reviewing another robot. That is right, another humanoid robot. This here is the all-new Optimus Prime Elite Core Edition, in which we previously reviewed the flagship model right over here. Now this is designed to be essentially the same thing, but essentially a smaller size scale. Now together we'll be unboxing it, trying it out, and seeing exactly how it compares to the original. And big special thanks to the good folks over at Robosen, as well as Hasbro, for sending this over. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so check it out. So this here is the all-new packaging. This here is the all-new box. Right off the back, you can actually see that the box is smaller than the original flagship model right over here. Now, let's take a quick look at this thing. So, looks pretty cool. So, it kind of showcases the robot here on the front. You have essentially a holographic display, which is pretty cool. So, it says Optimus Prime Elite Core Edition, G184, Transformers Authentic, Hasbro. On the back side here, kind of talks about it again in terms of the detail of the app goes. It's voice activated, remote control. You get an action library for actions like that. You have both different iOS or Android apps, built-in speaker, Bluetooth capability, multi-channel electric lighting, and a 1200 mAh battery capacity. That is about it. Let's open this thing up. One thing to note is that the price difference between the two is a little bit different. Obviously the flagship model is bigger, so it's a little bit more expensive, but this one here is a little bit more cheaper and is designed to be a little bit more budget friendly, but still has all the same bells and whistles. Alright, so you get this lovely looking packaging here. So this is designed to go ahead and carry it about as a traveling case goes. So on both sides you have a little locking mechanism right there, and this will go ahead and expose our robot. Alright. So you do have the Robosen looking like stage right there. That's cool. And then inside here you have its weapons of choice. So that is nice that they actually offer that. So you can go ahead and carry the weapons around. Again, these are just essentially smaller versions of the original one that we have here. And sweet. All right, so over here we have our user manual. It says, welcome to the Robosen community. And then inside here we have our quick start guide, our user manual, and then it looks like, oh cool, it even comes with stickers. Oh, that's pretty cool. So we got some Optimus Prime robot stickers. We were one of the very first ones to review the original flagship model, so I'm curious to see how they've changed since then. So inside here we do have some other parts. So this here is for the exhaust pipes. We have our USB-C for USB-B. Power adapter over here. Alright, so our robot. Oh my god, it's actually significantly smaller than I was imagining. So it's actually pretty cool. I mean, the fact that it's smaller, it's a little bit more intricate. Let's go ahead and take off all these stickers here. Let's go ahead and turn this guy on.
Greetings. I am Optimus Prime.
That's so cool. Alright, so here it is side by side, and you can already see the size comparison between the two. So obviously the flagship model is significantly bulkier and bigger, and I mean, yeah, definitely a lot heavier as well on top of everything else. It's interesting to see the two side by side. I mean, besides that, there really doesn't seem to be any much difference in terms of the material goes. They seem to be using the same exact kind of material and mechanisms kind of going on in terms of transforming, so I'm kind of curious to see how this plays out. Let's try this out. Hey Optimus Prime.
Greetings.
Transform. That is so cool. So yeah, obviously they're about the same in terms of time-wise, and you can see the size comparison to the two. This guy's a little bit taller than him, about almost like 3 inches, I would say 3 inches, and it's significantly got a wider stance, and I mean, yeah, this is kind of interesting to see them side by side. Now obviously this is designed to be a little bit cheaper. Current pricing is this, and I have to say that, I mean, if you are in the market for it, it doesn't really make much of a difference in terms of pricing goes. Now I do know that there is an Easter egg on each arm here for this specific model here, but they don't have that for the Elite model, so just keep that in mind. So obviously the details on the larger one will be better for that specific reason. Now they both have essentially the same amount of lights throughout from what I'm seeing. The servos look pretty much the same in terms of movements goes. So I'm just going to do a quick little demo of this particular robot. Obviously, if you guys want to learn more about the details of the robot, I would recommend seeing the longer video that I previously made on the flagship model. Now, there's also obviously the trailer kit, which doesn't work with this, but will only work with the flagship model as it's a larger size scale. Okay, so you got a different intro. Click on Bluetooth.
Connection complete.
All right, so we are connected. So this is neat. Okay, so we got a little bit of different screen here. So we have remote control, missions, action, create. All right, so this is our remote control mode. So we can control the robot. So you can move side to side, you can move forward. And then these are different attacks that we can do.
Fate rarely calls upon us in a moment of our choosing.
All right, so we have all these different things here too. So there's like a hero pose. So do not carry any weapons. That's our hero pose. Oh!
To all or one.
So that's cool. So you have combat actions as well.
The Autobots need your help to defeat the Decepticons.
Okay, so this here is block based, so we can create my own action here.
Arsenal.
That's cool. So I can hit start and then drag and drop so I can move the head in a specific way. So action, head, and hit play. That's cool. So I just made that little action there. So that's nice that you can create your own blocky actions. And then we have our combat mode. So these are like customized and then block based. So customized is that you allow you to go ahead and use it as a puppeteer mode where you can control the robot and move the different variation of different ways, and then it'll record that motion and play back. So I've seen this before in a lot of other robots.
Your arsenal.
So it really depends on what you're trying to do. So it's kind of cool that it does have these different ways of utilizing it and creating your own different patterns of actions. We have missions. So these are different block-based missions that you can go through. So I mean, essentially it's the same thing in the sense of different motions goes. But otherwise it's pretty much the same thing where I can control the robot and I can program it. I can even have it transform too by simply pressing this button here. And it transforms the same exact way. Now, one thing that do note with the transformation method is that it does transform backwards, which kind of sucks. But if you go into settings here, I can do convert mode front. So what this will do is that it will automatically transform in a way where it'll rotate itself. So if I transform, it should point that way. So it just simply rotates itself so it matches its body. So I mean, it does work, so that's kind of cool too. So if you transform again. So it doesn't rotate the full 180 degrees, but it rotates a good amount. You can also drive it too. So I don't know if you guys knew about that, but you can drive it same way of driving. It kind of like flexes itself to turn. And then of course you do have your horn, and then different actions as well where it can talk.
Let's chop through this mission.
So that's kind of neat too. So kind of gives you an idea about the two robots. Now, obviously the difference between the two robots is one, the size of it, which is a clear indication that this one's significantly bigger, but two, that there's more integration with this. So its own unique app allows you to connect to both the robot as well as a trailer kit, and then you have the online downloadable versions of the different variations of moves that you can program into it, which is very easy to get a hold of. And then of course you have the more capability that I feel like is essentially a more detailed robot. Now this one here is great for the bang of the buck, I would say. It's definitely more of a budget-friendly Optimus Prime. Again, they're not cheap to begin with, but again, does serve the same purpose of showcasing the different moves, transforming capabilities, blocking, coding, STEM education. So it does include all those bells and whistles that you would want out of a standard humanoid robot. Now, one thing to note is that both of the robots seem to be working just the same way as they normally would. They transform the way they do, they move the way they do action poses the way they do. So essentially the motions are literally the same, as just more of a smaller version overall. And yeah, there you guys have it. Now, if you guys have any questions about the Elite Optimus Prime, feel free to comment down below. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next video. Take care now. Bye-bye.